It's time to worry. Planets switch to retrograde motion. In May, Venus, Saturn, and Jupiter became retrograde. They changed the direction of motion in the celestial sphere. Previously, it was considered a bad omen. In fact, in the solar system, there is only one real retrograde, Venus. And if you could see the video before this one, you'll get a gist of what's happening. There are those that claim that we don't have the means to view what's happening with Venus retrogrades. Now, but the discovery of retrograde exoplanets was a complete surprise. Copernicus explained everything. Even in ancient times, people noticed that the planets moving in the heavens sometimes behave strangely, and they loop. Most of the year they follow from west to east, and if they are further from the sun than the earth, and suddenly turn around back down, the moment when this happens is called standing, and in 1514 Nicholas Copernicus proved that the earth is not the center of the universe, but together with other planets revolves around the sun. Each celestial body has its own orbit, and the retrograde movement that is visible to us is a result of their superposition. For example, Mars approaches the earth every 2 years as closely as possible, and overtaking it draws an S-shaped loop in the sky. The path of Mars in the celestial sphere in the period from July 2005 to February 2006, it goes from west to east, and at the moment of approaching the Earth makes a loop for a couple of months. It has the movement seems to retrograde to us. Venus and Uranus versus all planets in relation to the Earth for a short time move backwards, but this is only an appearance. Real retrogrades do not physically rotate like the rest. In the solar system, it is only Venus. If we were above the North Pole of Venus, we would see that it rotates clockwise around its axis. Earth and other planets are against. It's believed that planets form together with a star from a protoplanetary disk. In theory, their orbits should lie in the same plane, and the directions of rotation in the orbit and around the axis should coincide. When Venus is not like this, it's not yet clear why Venus is not like this. Although scientists note that it's strongly similar with the Earth, these planets are even called twins. One of the explanations is that the processes occurring in the bowels and atmosphere have slowed the rotation of Venus so much that it stopped at some point and then began to spin in the opposite direction. The distant ice giant Uranus also looks like a retrograde. It lies on its side relative to the plane of its orbit and pecks down the North Pole, which makes Uranus seem to rotate clockwise. But if you put it normally, it will become normal. Scientists believe that billions of years ago, Uranus collided with a large cosmic body and turned over in space. Another hypothesis is that in the past the planet had a massive system of rings that caused resonance, rocking it and deploying. General rules apply to planetary moons. For example, the Earth rotates counterclockwise, and so does the moon around the Earth, but one of the 13 moons of Neptune, Triton, is against the coat. So scientists conclude Triton did not belong to Neptune. It was an independent small body until Neptune captured it from the Kuiper Belt. By the way, Pluto, similar in composition to Triton, is also retrograde. In part, this contributed to its transfer to the category of dwarf planets. Anomalies of hot Jupiters. This is what our system is completely devoid of planets that would move in orbits against the rotation of the sun. For a long time, astronomers believed that this should be everywhere, but in 2009 they discovered the first exoplanet with a retrograde orbit at the star WASP-17 in the constellation Scorpio. WASP-17b is the largest and least dense exoplanet known. Such gas giants are called hot Jupiters. Its retrograde intrigues scientists. Smadar Naos from the Center of Interdisciplinary Research an astrophysicist at Northwestern University, USA, proposed a possible mechanism: the mutual influence of giant planets during migration closer to the star or a dwarf brown star, a brown dwarf. But this implementation requires a coincidence of too many conditions, and this is unlikely. Nevertheless, the astrophysicists put forward a bold hypothesis that such retrograde Jupiters are not uncommon, a quarter among them of those observed. However, the existence of the hot Jupiters themselves is still waiting for its explanation. This is on Solask. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box.